My name is Adam May. I stand here in front of you today with something to say. Stop. Stop whatever you're doing and start. Do not put it off any longer. You have gotten yourself this far. Initiate action. Little Orphan Annie taught us the difference between not giving up and not giving in. Except for one of the things that she didn't tell us was the fact that tomorrow never actually comes. Tomorrow, I'll love you tomorrow. You're always a day away. So what happens when you wake up tomorrow? When is tomorrow? If we continue to set plans for ourselves and we say, I will do that tomorrow, tomorrow never actually comes. Tomorrow never shows up. At what point does hope become stagnation? At what point does procrastination become the problem? I say I don't have procrastination. There's two versions of procrastination. There's true procrastination because of confidence, and then there's analysis paralysis because of thinking too hard and too much. I'm standing in front of you here today struggling actively with both. I'm not cocky. I just know that I have a skill set to be able to do really whatever I put my mind to. And so oftentimes I know exactly how much length of time it'll take for me to complete that thing. So if I know those finite details, why do I keep putting off such simple things? How come it's now 36 years old? I survived cancer at 17 years old, and it's taken me 20 years to figure out how to stand in front of you today and promote a message about my experience? A lot of that has to do with analysis paralysis. We sit here and we say, I have too much, I don't know where to start, I don't know where to begin. I know exactly where to start. And that's just simply by initiating action. I've had a plan in place for 20 years. This wasn't just some pipe dream because everybody else jumped on board. I've always wanted to do this. So how come I haven't? I've got a million excuses as to the reasons why I haven't, but the biggest one has always been, I can do it tomorrow. You look at the way that people start diet plans. Oh, I'll start Monday. Hey, bud, Monday's not the start of the week. Go look at a calendar. Sunday is. Why can't you start on a Sunday? I used to say that to people when I was working at substance treatment. Oh, I just want to make it through the weekend. I've got to be able to make it through the weekend. And then I'll start on Monday. You think about the way that a professional job is designed Monday through Friday. It's the stress of the weekend. Everybody's working for the weekend. The weekend is just for recovery, right? And then we got to get back into the Monday through Friday grind. There's always something that gets in the way. So that's why we push things off until tomorrow. But at what point does hope become stagnation? At what point do we sit here and say, I have nothing to stress or worry about because I can easily take care of it tomorrow? Memento mori, remember, you must die. Everyone's going to die. The only guarantees that we have in life are what? Death and taxes. Exactly. Death and taxes. Death is coming. I don't want to be hit by a bus with a plan in my pocket because I'm too distracted thinking and overthinking and analysis paralysis, like I said. But I'm always this close away from that because for whatever reason, I've not taken the opportunity to initiate action. Hope for tomorrow misguides you away from action of today. I would not have my professional abilities, my sobriety, or my health if I continued to wait. 8.5 years ago, I stopped drinking on a dime and said, I wonder what would happen if I didn't drink for 30 days. That was 8.5 years ago. During that period of time, I have created my own company, bought and sold another company, became very firmly established into international health operations, and now I freely have the ability to do what I've always wanted to do, and that's to stand in front of you here today. To be able to say, life is not going to ever get easy, but you can do whatever you want with it when you finally hold yourself accountable. I used to drink a fifth a day because my body hurts constantly, constantly. I don't sleep. I'm good if I sleep 4 to 6 hours a night. Alcohol was a crutch that saved me for a period of time because my body, after surviving cancer, took years to recover, and I still struggle with it today. I'm standing with you here today, actively dealing with what's called avascular necrosis, meaning that the entirety of the interior of my bones are dead. I operate a stem cell clinic internationally, and I don't even have the ability to use the materials that we use because I have things that are already dead. So what's the point? Why keep going? Because I told myself 2 decades ago I would do something from this. If I was going to survive cancer, I was going to make it beneficial and I was going to make it resourceful. So why 2 days? 20 years later, how come I'm still sitting in the same predicament, having not yet stood in front of anyone yet today? Because I kept telling myself, I can do it tomorrow. It'll only take this, this, and this for me to be able to achieve. It won't take long at all. I used to have those same habits with homework and with projects in school. You have 10 days to complete this. Okay, I only need 2. Do I do it in the first 2 days? Absolutely not. Never. At best, I'll go to day 7. And then I'll do it in 2 days. And then I'll lay off the gas just a little bit and I'll check and balance on the 3rd day and then I'll submit on the day that it's due. That's how I've operated my life. But now I don't have deadlines. Now I don't have anything tangibly in front of me that says, you have to do this here. You have to do this then. You have to do this now. I'm the only person that actively tells myself that. So when that voice goes, so does the momentum. The momentum has to be held accountable by yourself. You look at my physical fitness. I used to be over 300 pounds at one point in time. Do you know how I lost that weight? I started walking around the block. I've got one leg and a fake hip, and I just started walking. And eventually when I started walking, it started to clear my mind. And then I started to put other skills and other habits and other resources into place. How did you stop alcohol? Weren't you addicted? Aren't you an addict? If you could drink a fifth a day, how did you just stop? Because alcohol was never the problem. Alcohol was the excuse. Alcohol now became something tangible that I could kill and fill. And then run myself into a routine, hate myself even more. And then I got sober, and then I got successful, but yet somehow I still don't feel fulfilled. The fulfillment that I need from life is to know and understand that my experiences not only meant something to me, but it meant something to somebody else. For every person that has witnessed me achieve something, I hope they gain a concept, an idea, or a direction. To be able to push somebody and say, do not give up, do not give in. Stay hopeful, but also get shit done. Shit or get off the pot. I used to say that to clients. I still say it to clients today. Shit or get off the pot. Don't sit there and diddle in your ideas, because you're going to end up sitting there long enough that your legs are going to fall asleep and then you're afraid to stand up. Tirelessly, I have been able to achieve and persevere through resiliency. But sometimes it just doesn't feel like enough. So how do you get to that point to where you actually feel fulfilled? You have to start creating an effective checks and balance. You have to start creating an effective measure of accountability. You have to be able to get off of your ass and actually initiate action. Stop waiting for tomorrow. Do it today. Just a start. Write it on a piece of paper. That's step 1. You don't have to complete it today. You just have to start it today. So I want every single one of you in here in this room today to think of something that you've been waiting for, something that you've been holding on to, and I want you to do it. And if you don't know how, reach out to me and I'll get you in that right direction. Thank you for joining me today.